What's up, folks, and welcome back. The Manta has full steering, lift, and motor control. First step is going to be steering, always should be, so let's get into that. Hey, you didn't like that? Oh, it's my baby. It's my baby. Oh my God. Oh my God. So pretty. Oh my goodness. What a pretty girl. Yeah. Oh my goodness. High five. All right. We are back here with the Manta. Motorized. You guys have seen the video of the actual mount itself. I really should get this camera out of the way. But y'all saw how I do that. That video will be linked in the description. One of the big components of this is steering. And we have that done. We have it working very, very well. First component, these foot pegs, which we removed the originals and installed these, came from Novelty, but they are no longer available from that company. I think Novelty is just a company that imports stuff and just markets it on Amazon. Currently, this style of foot peg, which this is the key component to these things, is the fact that they're movable and you can lock them into place that easy. That's the key component to them. So anyway, the current outfitter for that product is Top Yawned. It will be linked in the description. The next component is obviously the cabling, tubing going through the kayak and how it enters and exits the kayak. Now I'm going to tell you, you see what I've done there? These are actually, these are guitar boats. If inverted, that's where you plug in your 1/4 inch plug for your guitar. And I used those not knowing that they were going to rust. If I were to do this again this way, I would definitely give this entire mechanism, after removing the audio business end from the back, just with a pair of clippers, I would clear coat the crap out of these things before actually putting them in. But if I had to do it again, in this kayak, I actually would have gone just directly right into here. So between the tubing and the cabling, as you can see, I've got stainless steel. That is actually holding up really, really well. It's not the prettiest thing, you know, it's not, what do you call that stuff? Spectra, Lycra, or if it's something different, I'll put it up there. Definitely use that. It fades, it goes over time if it's in the sun. This stuff, man, it is holding up great. This has spent the entire spring, this kayak, on the roof of the Jeep, and that stuff actually looks the best out of out of anything on this kayak. I've got stupid stuff like I thought these were non-corrosive. Look at those. I'm gonna have to swap those out for stainless. Yeah, but the cable itself is in really good shape. Now we go from the tube starts here and ends right here. I should probably show you the other side of it. So from there to there, this is not a long stretch. It's only about 3.5, 4 feet. With the stainless steel cable, I actually used white lithium grease, coated the cable as it was going into the tube, and it's, I mean, it runs free as a bird. It's awesome. So let's get into how I attach everything, and I'm gonna actually get this camera mount out of the way so we can see this a little better. All right, so at the beginning of the day, the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is open up the pedals, all right? We take off our connectors there. We're gonna close back up the pedals, kind of where I want my middle spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna lock them back down. Next thing, and these are freaking awesome. These are called cam jams. Just a little device. When you thread this guy through here and lock it into place, you can lock it like that, unlock it, right? These things are freaking awesome. They're about, I don't know, 10 bucks a pair. At Walmart, you can get them for, you can get 4 of them for, I think, 13 bucks. These things are freaking sweet, and they are clutch in this system. So as you can see, we've got our cable coming off of our triangle. Gonna connect that right there. Right there. Gonna make sure our motor's pretty straight. And then with these cam jams, and this is the beautiful thing about it, you just pull them taut, like yay, and you're done. You've got no more steering tuning to do. So at this point, we are going to unlock our pegs again so they move freely. And there we go. We've got steering. It doesn't require a whole lot of peg travel to move them. And the beautiful thing about this system, particularly with those cam jams, is that as long as the cable's coming off of the steering triangle are long enough, you can set that steering level right here, or you can set it way back here. So this is as smooth as our steering is. It's pretty freaking quiet too, which is another part that I absolutely love about this. Let's catch this from a different angle so you can see exactly what happens here when I move the pegs. There we go. Beautiful, isn't it? So let's go, let's do a run through all of the components. Like I said, these are Novelty Now, oh God, what was the name of that company? Never mind, it'll be linked in the description. So there's those. So you remove the old ones, install these. And then I drilled a small hole through side of the foot peg. I probably would have gone over one more space otherwise. The cable and ferrule kit all comes together. It's that will be linked in the description as well. Those will be linked in the description, but I am discouraging you from using those if you have places like this where it could happen. You know, you could achieve the same thing there. I mean, in the back of the kayak, you could go the full length, but I didn't want to do that. I reduced it considerably with these, and for some reason, those aren't rusting up like the other ones were. I don't understand why. But anyway, cable continues to another ferrule. This is an S-beaner available at Walmart. That will be linked in the description. Those are our cam jams. That's our cable, which will be linked in the description. Our eyelet here, and as you can see, what I did is I just took a piece of T-track, so that T-track eyelet could go in there, screwed it straight into the plastic, but not before doing a pilot hole, because you don't want that stuff to strip out. We continue up to another pair of S-beaners and the steering triangle itself, which is very, very generic. They only run about 10 bucks, linked in the description. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, white lithium grease to grease up the tubes. You can do that with the cable itself as you're inserting the cable. That's it. This is really pretty simple. Now, let's look at exactly how, like for instance, either with this or if you were doing it straight into the plastic of the kayak, how you get the tubing to stay in place. It's actually a lot easier than you would think. All right, next door neighbor Gary decided to mow right now. We're gonna try to ignore him as best we can. So this is a piece off of the mist, I think. So let's pretend that this is where you want to feed your tubing through. This is 1/4 of an inch hole. That's that. And obviously on one side or the other, you know, whether it's the front or the rear, you're going to need a point where you can actually access to feed through your second hole. So there we go. This is 1/4 inch. Goes through fine. The big concern is slack. You don't want any slack inside the kayak, and you want this to run as straight as possible. No looping whatsoever. You want it to go straight from end to end. All right, we're just gonna have to deal with Gary today because I don't have any other time to do this. So when you get your cable through and exactly where you want it, you're gonna wanna throw a sewing pin through that cable, right? So it's not gonna go anywhere. Next thing you're gonna do is cut your cable. Maybe about 1/4 of an inch beyond your pin. All right, so next step is get one of these ferrules ready. This will also be in the description. Have it at the ready. All right, you're gonna heat up your plastic. Throw the ferrule in. Get the pin out. Get that in there. And bang, that's not going anywhere. And it's pretty. Look at that. And by the way, these ferrules have not rusted at all, not one bit. But that's it. It's really that simple. Then you go and you do the other side. The other side's going to be a little bit tougher. You know, you're definitely going to want to pin that one in place. This is what I suggest you do. Don't do what I did. Do this where you can. Now, if you need the boats because the angle is weird or whatnot, absolutely use them. But I would recommend after you get them prepped and you get the audio stuff chopped off just with a pair of cutters bigger than this, hit them with like 2 or 3 good coats of like a flat clear coat, just to prevent any rusting or whatnot. But yeah, ideally, look at that. Now in the Manta here, going from front to rear, this was pretty easy because if I take this off, I can reach that stuff to get the tubing through whatever hole you make, whether it's along the side with a boat or like in this area. I'd go high if you were to make that trip, but I don't think it's a good idea to make that trip. I think the closer you have this to your steering triangle, the better off you're going to be. The reason that I put them here is just so they don't interfere with the bungees. And that is pretty much it. That's how my steering works. Yeah, baby.